Hello and welcome to Thompson. My name is Justin. I'm the owner of Team 53 and I partner with Coach Dave Academy and Impel Motorsports to bring you this week's Learn to Drive video for ARCA at Thompson as part of iRacing's 2025 Season 3 Week 11 official series. If you guys can, make sure you like and subscribe. It does a ton to help out my channel. I'm a very small time racer here in Wisconsin. I've got a late model parked in the garage. We have not been able to take it out at all this season. My daughter's been racing go-karts though at Badger Kart Club and Road America and having a blast all summer long. So at least there's a little bit of a consolation prize. But anything you guys can do, whether it's watching this video, sharing it with a friend, liking, subscribing, it does a ton to help my channel out. It helps me when I'm going after partners, looking for sponsors, etc. It just does a lot to kind of help us out. So I really do appreciate it. So let's kind of dive in here to Thompson. We're going to dive in right away and kind of talk about. Um, it's going to be a difficult week for you guys. There's no way to sugarcoat that. It's difficult for us when we're in the short track side where we're used to running tracks like this all the time. When you go to ARCA and a track like Thompson, where it's really a single lane, there's a lot of bumps, the car maybe isn't set up the best. It's just going to create, I think, a lot of issues for you guys this week. But let's hop into the garage and let's take a quick peek at that. So, fixed setup race, we can only change three things. Steering ratio, I left it at 10 to 1. Steering offset, as usual, +4. And then brake bias 60%. So remember, your steering offset is literally just taking your steering wheel and turning where center on the wheel is. So when you're going down the straightaway, if you're at a +10, you're going to be at like 2 o'clock for centered on your wheel. Your wheel will be tipped to the right. If you're at +4, it's going to be like a 1 o'clock ish. If you go negative, then you're going to be looking at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock type deal. So it'll make it a lot easier for you guys to think about it that way. It literally does nothing other than driver preference. I'm a 7500 I rating when I tell you guys it's nothing but driver preference. I mean it's nothing but driver preference. Front brake bias. So where you want to set this, I have it set to 60%. But what some of you guys may want to do, especially for race, is to set it to like 57%. And then when you get in your car, you turn it up to +3 to get you back to your 60%. But what that's going to allow you to do is as this car goes on in the run, it's going to get tighter on entry under braking. So what that will feel like to you is that nose of your car is just going to keep pushing towards the wall. You're going to hit the brakes and it's just going to go straight towards the wall. When you decrease it, you'll feel the rear end kind of come out a little bit and it'll put the car into yaw and it'll help rotate the car. Now, what you have to be careful is that you don't decrease the front brake bias too much to where you've got too much rear brake in it and then the car just wants to spin out. So that's wheel hop if you watch any NASCAR stuff. So you just really have to watch that. I set mine to 60. Like I said, some of you guys for the race probably look at setting it to 57, turning it up +3. That way you've got essentially a -6 that you can bring it down in the car versus only a -3 throughout the run. I typically tell people click a brake bias about every 10 laps or so inside the car. You want to start thinking about it on short tracks, especially late model stocks, ARCA cars, or the trucks where you're really actively using brakes. So keep that in mind here as you guys run this week. But let's head out. My laps for this are going to be a little intermingled. Basically, my second lap of my race run was my best qual run. So I'm just going to let it eat, and we'll kind of go from there. I did kind of mock it up like it would be a qual run though too. So as we're going out here on track, you're seeing just a little bit of tire heat just to get a little bit of more grip. But it's a great time to talk about my friends at Impel Motorsports. They are a next level sim rig dealer as well as a Moza dealer. So if you're looking to upgrade your sim racing equipment, head over to them. If you want free shipping on next level products, head over to the Team 53 Discord. There's a link in the announcements tab, a pin message about how to get that. So head over there, check out impelmotorsports.com. So here we go, high in 3 and 4, pretty much a normal line. We're going to get a good run down this front stretch. And you can kind of see here, there's this little line here, kind of like a seam almost. right along the outside wall. And that's what I kind of use as a guide for me when I'm looking at these replays after the fact. Because when you're in the cockpit, you really, I mean, you can kind of see it, but you're not really noticing it. So how do you know that you're up high enough here on the track? Really, there's like this little black seam here, and I just kind of know that's a little bit to the left of me, all the way down this front stretch, and that's kind of what I use. So we go down the front stretch, and then the first thing you'll notice here as you're looking at it is that this outside wall kind of bends out and goes into the corner. So what I always look at is when this wall starts to bend, that's when I want to start making my corner. So you see we get down here, wall starts to bend, I'm braking, I'm turning in a little bit because remember if my wheel is straight up and down, that means I'm turned a little bit. So if my wheel turned in, I've got a little bit of brake here, and we're going into the corner. And then as I approach this corner, I want to treat this, um, I'm talking about it for short track guys. I talk about it at Stafford, but that really doesn't work for you guys here. What I'll do is I'll bring this car in and I take this contact patch here in the corner and I kind of want to straddle it on entry. So you see how we get this car down into it from the far chase cam. We get all four tires pretty much under it just for a brief bit. And then this car is going to push tight here in the center. So you're going to let it kind of ride up the track. You can see here I'm still using a little bit more brake. I let it ride up the track, and then about midway through the corner, I start to give it, well, about 2/3 of the way through the corner with this car, I start to give it some throttle. So just as you start to feel it kind of getting to that outer peak, that's where you'll throttle it up and with a ton of wheel in, and that's going to flip this car right down the hill, which is what I'm doing here. And then as soon as you can, you want to get as much wheel out of it and drive out through this contact patch. So you see kind of how we bring it in, get all four under there, lift her up, and then we throttle up out of this corner. We get it down the backstretch, kind of use this seam again, um, or that line that was there, and then you can see too, turn 3 kind of bows out a little bit. So I go down to turn 3, and then this NASCAR sign, once that really starts to become visible to me, that's kind of always my guide to brake and to turn in for turn 3. So you see this NASCAR sign here, I'm going to start to lift and brake. We'll gather enough, and then I bring it into 3, kind of the same deal. I'm going to straddle this patch. We'll go outside to far chase. So we straddle that patch and just try and hook those left sides on it, let the car drift up a little bit, and then just as you cross this white line, that's going to be where you're going to throttle up and drive this car back through the contact patch on exit. Get you a nice 19,571. So let's go back. We'll look inside the car presented by my friends at Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. They are an independent AMSOIL dealer. I use AMSOIL in my car. I saw a 2 mile per gallon increase, which is insane. I'm still rocking it here about halfway through the oil change, which I'm pretty excited about. Um, so if you're looking to do your own oil, if you've got your own race car, you need oil lubricants for it, check out my friends at Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. There's a link in the description below that if you click on that and you order direct from AMSOIL, we get credit on this channel, which helps keep this content free. So make sure you guys are checking that out and taking advantage of it. So here's a lap inside the car. And there you go. We can kind of just continue this for race trim really. It's going to look pretty much the exact same. Just the big thing here is not overdriving entry. Um, I feel like it's really easy to overdrive entry, and when you overdrive entry, you saw there I got a little bit of a wiggle there in the middle of the corner because you got to apply brake at weird spots. But also, with the way this car is geared, your 0 to 60 speed, which is like, your mid corner to corner exit speed, you're going to gain way more speed coming from there. So like we take it here, our lowest speed is 79, and then by the time we get off the corner to this gate, we're at 103. But then down the whole straightaway, we're only getting to 126, so we're only gaining 23. from, roughly 79, about 30 miles an hour gain there. So you really want to make sure that you're not overdriving entry. And when you're overdriving entry, a lot of times if you're in a group of cars, what you'll see is going to be the car in front of you gets really, really big, and then all of a sudden center exit it gets really, really small. And that's a really good sign, especially a track like Thompson, that you're overdriving entry compared to the guy in front of you. So what I suggest always is to back up your corner a little bit and give up just a tick of time on entry to gain all of your time on entry. I'm very, very particular. The guys on Team 53 have all heard me say, I will give up a half a tenth on entry to gain a tenth and a half on exit every single time. And really all it takes is maybe one or two corners of giving up that entry and driving away from a guy before you don't even really have to worry about them at all in your mirror. Thompson is a track too, where if you get a car underneath you, you can roll the top, and you should be able to defend them pretty well. So I wouldn't really worry about if somebody dive bombs it underneath you. Just lift and let them go. They're going to burn their stuff up here. They're going to come right back to you, or they're going to get into a wreck here in a little bit. So just be aware of that this week. Passing here is extremely difficult. You really just want to put yourself in a position behind somebody to where when they make a mistake, you can jump on it and grab their spot. And that's really going to be the theme of the week is just capitalizing on others' mistakes, waiting for a guy to send it too hard into a corner, take out the cars in front of you, and then you've got to be able to avoid it. Or a guy putting too much throttle in on exit of two, which happens a ton, and they get loose and they spin out, and you're able to capitalize there. So if you guys have made it to the end of this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Join us in the Team 53 Discord. Free shipping on Next Level Sim Rigs if you join the Discord and follow the steps there. Otherwise, we will see you guys in the next video. Happy race week and have a good one.